It is often said that one should try to stay away from these three places as much as possible, that is, police station, court, and hospital, because once you get entangled in any one of these, your life keeps on revolving aimlessly around them. If you have a good character and no one has any grudges against you, then you can definitely keep away from the police and court. But despite trying hard enough, we just can't avoid hospitals because life itself begins from the hospital and many people breathe their last breath on the hospital beds. Today's story is of Ajay and Tanvi who stayed in Delhi. They had shifted here 5 years ago and were living a happy life. But from the past few days, Tanvi was not keeping well. All of a sudden, she used to experience an extreme pain in her abdomen. But after a while, the pain used to ease off automatically. In the beginning, they tried some home remedies, because of which Tanvi felt better for a while. But after a few days, the pain reoccurred. This time, they consulted their family doctor. After conducting sonography, Tanvi was diagnosed with appendix and needed an immediate surgery. There was a hospital in their neighborhood by the name City Hospital. It was huge and had all the modern medical facilities in it. But despite that, people were afraid to get themselves admitted in this hospital. It was believed that this hospital is haunted and spirits roam around this hospital during the night. Ajay and Tanvi did not believe in these rumors and hence decided to get operated in this hospital itself. Tanvi was to be operated 2 days later. They visited the hospital on the specified date. The hospital had a huge reception area, but due to the lack of staff members, it looked almost empty. After completing the formalities, Tanvi was admitted in the hospital. Operation was successful, but Tanvi was advised to stay back in the hospital for 3 days. Post-operation, Tanvi was shifted in a room on the 4th floor. There were 2 beds in her room. Since there was no other patient, Ajay was also going to stay with her in the same room. At around 2 a.m. in the night, Ajay was woken up by the wailing of Tanvi. So he called the doctor. The doctor wrote the prescription and asked Ajay to get it from the hospital pharmacy. Ajay came out of the room and walked towards the lift. Even after waiting for a long time, the lift did not come upwards. So he decided to use the staircase instead. Pharmacy was on the right hand side of the reception. At this hour in the night, the reception area looked creepier than what it looked during the day. After collecting the medicines, as Ajay was about to leave, the guy at the pharmacy stopped him and asked, "You came to the ground floor using the staircase, right?" Ajay replied, "Yes, I did. But why are you asking this question?" The guy said, "It is better to use the lift as much as possible during the night. Using the staircase late in the night is not safe." Upon hearing what the guy said, Ajay started laughing and said, "Do you two believe that this hospital is haunted?" The guy avoided his laughter and said, "Sir, whether you believe it or not, but many strange things have happened here during the night. I just wanted to alert you. Rest everything is up to you. But be careful about one thing. No matter what happens, do not go on the 3rd floor during the night." Ajay just laughed off the guy's warning and left the counter. In order to find the truth, he made up his mind to check the staircase himself. The staircase indeed looked scary at this hour in the night, as it was poorly lit. There was an eerie silence all around him. The only sound he was able to hear was of his own footsteps. Ajay had just reached the 3rd floor when, from the corner of the lobby, he heard someone cleaning the area with a broomstick. When he peeped into the lobby, he saw an old man wearing the cleaning staff uniform and cleaning the lobby. He looked like an ordinary person, but the strange thing was that he was cleaning that area which was already clean. He just glanced at Ajay once and continued with his work. In order to go on the 4th floor, as soon as Ajay turned towards the staircase, for the first time in his life, he experienced fear. He saw a girl sitting on the staircase hiding her face in between her knees and crying continuously. He recalled what the guy at the pharmacy had warned him about. Do not go on the third floor during the night. The wailing of the girl was now beyond Ajay's tolerance, so he covered his ears with his hands and also closed his eyes at once. But the very next moment, when he opened his eyes, the girl had vanished, and when he turned back, the old man was nowhere to be seen. When he uncovered his ears, there was a pin drop silence around him. There was no sound of the old man cleaning the lobby, nor could he hear the wailing of the girl. Ajay was completely horrified. Running through the staircase, he reached the fourth floor. He was panting for breath. For a moment, he thought that whatever he saw was a figment of his imagination. But when he turned back to confirm the same, he saw the old man and the girl standing on the staircase and smiling back at him. Upon seeing their creepy smile, Ajay ran as fast as he could into Tanvi's room. Seeing Ajay's condition, Tanvi asked him, "What happened? Why are you panting for breath?" Ajay was not in a state to explain anything. Plus, Tanvi's circumstances were such that he did not intend to unnecessarily bother her. Therefore, he said, "Nothing much. The lift wasn't working, so I had to use the staircase. That's the reason I'm panting for breath. You have this medicine and go to sleep." After giving the medicine to Tanvi, he crawled into his bed and slept. Next morning, the maid from the cleaning staff came to clean the room. After completing her work, when she moved out of the room, Ajay too followed her. He stopped her and asked, "Does the hospital's cleaning staff works in the lobby till late in the night?" The maid said, "No, sir. Our shift ends at 10 p.m. in the night. In case the patient requires us, only then we come to clean the room." Ajay further inquired, "But yesterday, late in the night, I saw an old man cleaning the hospital's lobby on the third floor. There was also a girl who was sitting on the staircase and sobbing. Do you know who they were?" Hearing what Ajay had said, the maid kept staring at him continuously and said, You two saw both of them?" Ajay didn't understand what she meant, so he asked, "What do you mean by me too?" The maid replied, "Nothing, sir. I was just asking casually. I'll take your leave now. I have lots of work to complete," and left. Now Ajay was assured that there is something fishy about this place. He thought to himself that they just have to spend today's night in this hospital. Tanvi will be discharged by tomorrow afternoon, and then they will leave from here. Ajay had decided that he will not sleep tonight, and no matter what happens, he will not go out of the room. At around 3 a.m. in the night, Ajay got out of his bed and entered the restroom which was attached to their room. At this point, Tanvi was all alone in the room. She woke up when she heard a girl sobbing. She changed her side and looked at the bed which was opposite to her. There, she saw a girl sitting on the bed, hiding her face in between her knees and crying continuously. Just like Tanvi, the girl was also wearing the hospital gown which is provided to the patients. Tanvi thought that this girl must have been admitted in this room while she was asleep, and maybe that's the reason why Ajay is not in the room. Looking at the girl, Tanvi asked, "What happened? Why are you crying? Is someone with you, or are you alone in this hospital?" But the girl neither replied nor did she look at Tanvi. Instead, she started wailing louder. Tanvi thought that she should ring the bell and call the nurse for assistance. As soon as she raised her hand to press the button, in a weird voice, the girl said,
"They killed me. Go away from here."
Tanvi immediately looked behind. The girl was still sitting there, hiding her face in between her knees. But her bed was fully drenched in blood. At that very moment, Tanvi's palms sensed some warm liquid on her bed too. She shivered from head to toe when she saw that her hands were soaked in warm human blood. This time, the girl raised her head. Looking at Tanvi, she said,
Go away from here.
upon seeing her scary face, Tanvi let out a blood-curdling scream. Hearing her scream, Ajay came out of the restroom instantly. He was asking Tanvi as to why did she scream so loudly, but Tanvi was not able to utter a word. Meanwhile, the maid and a nurse had arrived, hearing Tanvi scream. Gathering all her courage, Tanvi narrated the entire incident to Ajay. But when Ajay looked at both the beds, they were completely clean, just like the way they were before. There was not a single drop of blood on them. Hearing all of this, the nurse ran away to call the doctor. On seeing Tanvi's condition, the maid said,
Sir, sir, please get your room changed. Whatever ma'am said, and whatever you saw yesterday, all of this is true.
Ajay was confused, not understanding the strange events happening around both of them. Seeing both of them puzzled, the maid said,
Sir, the old man whom you saw cleaning the lobby on the third floor yesterday night was an old staff member of this hospital. He had killed himself by jumping from the third floor of this building a few years ago. And the girl whom both of you saw was admitted to this hospital for treatment. It was an accident case. So, until the police arrived, she was kept in this same room. But by the time the police arrived, she had passed away on that opposite bed due to heavy blood loss. Since then, both their spirits have been haunting this hospital.
Hearing what the maid had said, both Ajay and Tanvi were scared to death. That night itself, they spoke to the doctor and got their room changed. Next morning, they took an early discharge and went home as early as possible. They both had learnt their lesson for life, the inhuman spirits in which they did not believe until yesterday and made fun of. Today, it had become the worst reality of their life. If you liked the story, do subscribe the channel and press the bell icon so that you will be notified every time we come up with a new story. Also like, comment and share it with your friends. Follow us on our social media platforms. To watch the story in Hindi, click on the link given in the description below. Thank you.